Hey everybody, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Lakers Nation news feed. My name is Trevor Lane, and you can find me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. I am a senior writer for LakersNation.com. I also host the full-length Lakers Nation podcast. The Lakers Nation news feed, which you're watching right now or listening to if you're just listening to the audio version of this, is a shorter, quick-hitting take on some of the major topics going on in the day. We are still brought to you by CLNS Media, and today's show is actually sponsored by Bombfell. Fantastic company. I love them. Go to bombfell.com/LakersNation for $25 off your first order. They send clothes directly to your door, provide you with your own personal stylist, which, let's face it, I definitely need it. Guys, a lot of us out there need that. Bombfell.com/LakersNation. We'll talk a bit more about them later on. Today's big topic is LeBron James. I mean, hey, it doesn't get much bigger than that, right? LeBron James has a player option for next summer that would allow him to become a free agent. He has a $35 million option. And if he does not pick that up, which he almost certainly won't, he'll end up being a free agent, and the Lakers are one of the few teams that have enough cap space to be able to sign him. Now, there have been rumors for a while that link the Lakers to LeBron, that he may be interested in coming to Los Angeles. He does have a home in Brentwood, and he and his wife were seen just the other day by TMZ exploring a high school called Notre Dame in Los Angeles, and he was actually working out in their gym there. His wife took a tour of the campus. LeBron has kids. The thought is that maybe he is seriously considering joining the Lakers and was looking for a school that his kids could attend. Now, Peter Vesey, who has covered the NBA for a long time, he's the guy who broke the Paul George news that the Indiana Pacers were asking the league to investigate the Lakers for tampering in the Paul George situation. He recently came out with a story saying that LeBron James is indeed unequivocally signing with the Los Angeles Lakers next summer. Bombshell, right? Now, if this is true and the Lakers are getting James, and I say if, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. If this is true and the Lakers are getting LeBron James next summer, that means you can forget about rebuilding. That's over. That's done. No more rebuilding in Los Angeles. If you have LeBron James, you are contending. I don't care that LeBron James is 33 years old. He's getting up there in years and all that. He still proved during the playoffs last year that he still has it. He can absolutely run a team. He can be the driving force that can bring a team to the next level. So if they do get him, they will not be looking to just add LeBron James. You don't just throw LeBron onto the Lakers, especially a 33-year-old LeBron James, and say, "Hey, go make us into a playoff team. Go carry us the entire way." The Lakers know you can't do that. You can't ask just one player to carry an entire team. We saw what happened with Kobe eventually, right? When he was carrying that Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, Pau Gasol team that we all would all like to forget about every once in a while, that when he was there, he eventually tore his Achilles because he was straining so hard to drag the team to the playoffs. The Lakers would not put LeBron in that type of situation. Instead, they would be looking to bring in a second star along with LeBron. So, who's going to be available? Well, Paul George being one. Russell Westbrook is another one, and DeMarcus Cousins could also be out there on the market. All three should be free agents next summer and could end up joining LeBron James in Los Angeles if Vesey's report is accurate. So after next summer, the Lakers could be fielding a team of Lonzo Ball, LeBron James, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, one of those guys, and Brandon Ingram as its core, and they could even still bring back Brook Lopez. Eric Pincus and I talked about that on the Lakers Nation podcast a few weeks ago. Eric is of Basketball Insiders, does a phenomenal job, and he broke down in terms of cap space how the Lakers actually could do that. And because the center market is so weak next summer, or so weak for the centers, it actually has a number of centers on the market, not a lot of money available, not a lot of teams that need centers right now, so it's going to be tough for those guys to get a lot of money. So the Lakers could be able to steal Brook Lopez at a very cheap price and still add him to LeBron James, add him to Paul George and all these other guys. Could be a very, very nice situation for the Lakers, and that means we could see them jump up from 1 year being a rebuilding team, then next season they are extremely unlikely to be making the playoffs, to the season after, they could be a legitimate contender for the NBA championship. Would be an amazing recovery for Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. And of course, if they get LeBron James, it means not just adding him to the team and adding him as a talented player, but it also means in terms of economics, you are going to be bringing in a lot of money. I mean, LeBron James on the Lakers, heck, Lonzo Ball on the Lakers is already bringing in a lot of money. He's got them on national TV way more than they were last season. LeBron James would just increase that effect exponentially. I mean, it would be amazing. LeBron James on the Lakers would just be printing money basically for the Lakers and for the league. So it could be incredible in that sense. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that whenever we talk about LeBron James coming to the Lakers, whether it's on Twitter or on LakersNation.com or wherever, the comment section is always filled with people saying, we don't want LeBron James. I get it. I know LeBron has spent the last, however long that he's been in the league, decade plus that he's been in the NBA as kind of the big bad guy that's been out there in the distance. I mean, Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James was a big story. Who's better, right? We were robbed of seeing them go against each other in the NBA Finals. But you kind of have to put that aside. If you're a Lakers fan, put aside the LeBron James hate for a moment and understand that he is still the best player in the league. And if you want to see the Lakers play winning basketball again, you can't be too upset about getting LeBron James. At least that's my take. Hey, if you don't like the guy, you don't like the guy, and that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion, but it would be a tremendous get for the Los Angeles Lakers that would put them right back on the map if they do land LeBron James. There's no question about that. And again, I say if. Vesey is convinced that LeBron is coming to the Lakers. My thing is this, though. We are 10 months away from free agency. A lot can happen between now and then. Even if right now LeBron's plan is to join the Lakers, and we don't know that. Right? We don't know who Vesey's sources are or anything like that. But even if that is his plan and Vesey is correct, and he is planning on joining the Lakers in the summer of 2018, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen. A lot can change between now and then. Maybe he falls back in love with the city of Cleveland. Maybe he finds another city that he really likes. Maybe something else happens that causes him to go elsewhere. Maybe he decides to go to the Clippers. As upsetting as that would be, it could happen. He could go to the Clippers and still be in Los Angeles, near his home in Brentwood, still have his kids go to school in LA. Those are all options. Okay, so I'm not counting this as a done deal, even though Vesey says that it is happening. He is coming to the Lakers in the summer of 2018. I'm going to wait until that signature is on the contract before I start popping any champagne or anything like that. Now, earlier, I talked a little bit about Bombfell. Bombfell, again, clothing company, does a phenomenal job. Guys, I am one of those people who, well, two things. I hate shopping. I really do. I'm one of those guys who I want to just get in, get what I need, and get out. I don't like going in and like browsing and all that kind of stuff. It's not my style. And I'm also terrible at picking out clothes. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, I'm an adult and I'm bad at picking out clothes. So Bombfell helps me out on both fronts, because clothes shopping is not the kind of shopping where you can just go in, grab something, and get out. You have to like try stuff on and spend hours and hours and hours looking at different things, and oh, it drives me crazy. So Bombfell sends you clothes straight to your door. And in fact, the shirt that I'm wearing right now, if you are listening to just the audio version of this, you can't see my shirt. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I'm wearing a nice colored shirt that they sent. The crazy thing is, it fits perfectly, fits me very, very well. I did not send them my measurements at all. I just gave them my basic body type and my height and weight, and they put together this entire package, the kind of stuff that I would like to wear, and they sent it to me. It is it's an incredible service, and one that is of a lot of value to me, and I think would be a lot of value to a lot of guys out there. And so that's why we were having them on this show, and they actually agreed to do a special deal for Lakers Nation listeners, and they're giving you $25 off on your first clothing order. Just go to bombfell.com/LakersNation. That's BOMBFELL.com/LakersNation. Very cool service. Definitely try it out. Highly recommend it. Now, final news topic I want to get to. All this stuff going on with the draft lottery reform, as well as the resting players issues. It seems like Commissioner Adam Silver is going to be flexing his muscle a little bit here and trying to get a few changes made to end tanking. And of course, we all know about the whole tanking issue. The Philadelphia 76ers tanked like crazy for years. The Phoenix Suns were blatant tankers down the stretch when they shut down Eric Bledsoe, actually passed the Lakers in the draft lottery standings, ended up costing them in the end because they still wound up with a 4th pick, whereas the Lakers jumped up to 2nd. And of course, we saw the Lakers shut down players as well. I mean, they shut down Timofey Mozgov, they shut down Luol Deng, started focusing on giving the young guys more minutes and all of that. So Adam Silver is trying to end all of this by changing the draft lottery, changing the odds. Now, he wants to make it so the top 3 picks, or the top 3 worst records, all have a 14% chance of getting the #1 overall pick. Right now, the worst record has roughly a 25% chance of getting the top pick. The second worst has about a 20% chance, and it goes down from there. Well, Adam Silver wants to make it 14% for the top 3 and then declining from there. And he also wants to expand the lottery itself. So right now, if you have the worst record in the league, the worst case scenario is you wind up with the 4th pick. He wants to change that so that the lottery includes the top 4 worst teams, maybe the top 5 worst teams. And with that being the case, then the worst record in the league could actually end up getting, say, the 5th overall pick or the 6th overall pick. Again, the idea is to try and de-incentivize tanking. If there's a greater likelihood that you won't get the #1 overall pick, even though you lost a lot of games, then hopefully teams won't tank as much. That's at least the plan. He also is trying to get rid of resting players, which in theory could stop tanking. I mean, like I said, the Suns rested Eric Bledsoe down the stretch. This is an issue not just with tanking, but also with national TV matchups. The league doesn't want to have like the Warriors playing the Cavs in this monumental battle that is going to have millions upon millions of eyeballs on it, and then have LeBron James resting or Steph Curry resting. This is a big part of why the schedule is different this year. In case you guys didn't notice, the NBA season starts about a week and a half earlier this year than it has in years previous. Usually they start right around Halloween. This year, they're kicking off in the middle of October. And the reason why they're doing that is to extend the schedule a little bit and reduce the number of back-to-backs, reduce the number of times that a team has 4 games in 5 nights. In fact, they may have done away with that altogether. Reduce travel, doing all these things to try and make it a little bit easier on the players' bodies so they have more rest and recovery time, which in theory should limit injuries and should hopefully get rid of at least a lot of the reason why teams would rest players. Because as we're finding out more and more and more about the impact of travel on a player's body and the impact of playing back-to-back games, how that increases the likelihood of injury, the NBA is taking steps to try to mitigate those things. So Adam Silver is going to flex his muscle a bit here. It sounds like September 28th is going to be the vote. How does this all impact the Lakers? Well, here's the deal. The Lakers, if they do reform the draft lottery, they don't have their 2018 first-round pick. They do have their 2019 pick, though. And that is the year when the rule changes would go into effect. It wouldn't go into effect next summer. It would go into effect the summer after. Now, if the Lakers are able to sign LeBron James and Paul George next summer, I would imagine that they are probably going to wind up having to trade that 2019 pick, which they can do after the 2018 draft. They wouldn't fall under the Stepien rule then, which prohibits teams from trading 2 consecutive picks. After that 2018 pick is made by either the 76ers or the Boston Celtics, that's who currently own the Lakers' 2018 pick, then the Lakers could trade their 2019 pick. If LeBron James and Paul George are ready to sign on, I imagine the 2019 pick will have to be traded in order to move the contract of Luol Deng, which will probably need to be done in order to bring on James and, say, George or Cousins or whoever. If they don't land those guys, though, that 2019 pick could end up being very valuable. I mean, the Lakers would still be a young team, would still be building around young guys like Lonzo Ball, like Brandon Ingram, and players of that caliber. And while they're great players, we don't know if that would push them back up into the playoffs. So if the Lakers are near the bottom again in the 2018-2019 season, then this draft lottery reform could impact where they end up. Now, if they aren't going to be, say, a bottom 3 team, then this will actually help them because their pick could be that much more enticing and more valuable because they would have a higher chance of jumping up. If they're one of the worst teams in the league again, which, hey, fingers crossed, let's hope that's not the case, then it devalues their pick a little bit because it's more likely that it falls back further. There's going to be ramifications of these rules no matter what. There's going to be some things that teams will do, some ways that teams will adjust. Maybe draft picks aren't traded as frequently with the possibility, the greater possibility that it won't be a strong pick. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. There is always going to be some sort of a consequence to making any kind of rule change in the NBA because and a lot of times it's in ways that we don't foresee, but that's just the way the system works. If you change one thing, you tinker with something, something else is also going to change. Okay, so definitely a story to keep an eye on. September 28th should be the vote on that, and we could see the NBA making a push to get rid of tanking, get rid of resting players, and they would do that by switching up the draft lottery and potentially fining teams for resting players in some of the major games, especially star players. That's going to wrap things up for today. Once again, my name is Trevor Lane. You can find me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. This is the Lakers Nation news feed. Keep checking in every time there is a major story involving the Los Angeles Lakers. I'll be reporting on it. Thanks so much for watching. Head over to LakersNation.com. Check it out. Make sure you listen to our full-length podcast also. Our full-length pod actually had me interviewing Lonzo Ball on our last episode. A lot of fun. Definitely go check that one out, Lakers fans. That's it for today. See ya.